Good morning, Lincoln Elementary. Today is Thursday, February 18th, 2021, and this is Mrs. Coe.
And Mrs. Zito. Our in-person schedule this week was Wednesday gold, Thursday purple, Friday gold.
Today we'd like to wish a happy birthday to Luke Janko in first grade.
And lunch today is the maple pancake wrap, potato stars, orange juice, and milk. And then don't forget, anyone can get lunch. It's free. If you're remote, you need to call in, and you can always take breakfast and lunch home for tomorrow.
And here's today's Black History Month fact. During the Civil Rights era of the 1960s, there were so many great speakers who communicated a message of racial justice and equality. Fannie Lou Hamer was one of those famous speakers. She gave a speech that people still talk about. You can find out more about it in this book, Voice of Freedom, Fannie Lou Hamer. And remember, Black history is every American's history. Check out Voice of Freedom today and this video.
Fannie Lou Hamer was a civil rights leader during the 1950s and 60s. She was instrumental in organizing the Mississippi Freedom Summer and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. She later became the vice chairman of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. Fannie was known as an exciting speaker who wasn't afraid to say what she thought. She was always willing to stand up for what was right. Fannie was born in October of 1917. She was the youngest of 20 children. She spent her days picking cotton with her family. By the time she was 13 years old, she could pick 200 to 300 pounds of cotton per day. She became involved with the civil rights movement in the early 1950s. She knew that the way she had been treated her whole life wasn't right. She knew that in order for things to change, she needed to be brave to speak up in defense of change. Fannie began attending conferences and listening to speakers like Thurgood Marshall and Charles Diggs. She became especially interested in voting rights. While it was legal for blacks to vote, it was still something many feared. It was very risky to even register to vote. It meant they could lose their job, be beaten, or lynched. In 1962, Fannie attended a meeting for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and during the meeting, Reverend James Bevel encouraged the meeting attendees to register to vote. Fannie was the first to volunteer. She later said, "I guess if I'd had any sense, I'd have been a little scared. But what was the point of being scared? The only thing they could do was kill me, and it kind of seemed like they'd been trying to do that a little bit at a time since I could remember." The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee rented a bus and traveled to Indianola, Mississippi to register to vote. On the trip there, Fannie began singing gospel hymns. This became her signature. She was known to sing Christian music because she believed that the fight for civil rights was also a deeply religious endeavor. Throughout the rest of Fannie's life, she continued to be a brave voice for black voters. She'd been beaten by police and wrongfully arrested, but it never stopped her from believing that things could change. She died at the age of 59 and was buried in Ruleville, Mississippi. On her gravestone is written a quote she was known for saying often: "I am sick and tired of being sick and tired."
Okay. On the lighter note, it is also National Milk a Cow While Flying on an Airplane Day.
Who knew?
Who knew these crazy days are happening all around us? We have another short video clip on this National Day, Milk a Cow on an Airplane.
Hello and welcome to History Pod. On the 18th of February 1930, Nellie J, better known as Elm Farm Ollie, became the first cow to fly in an aeroplane. Featured as part of the International Air Exposition in St. Louis, America, not only did Ollie fly in an aeroplane, but she was also milked during the flight. Elm Farm Ollie was born and raised at Sunnymead Farms in Bismarck, Missouri, and was chosen to fly to the International Air Exposition due to her unusually high milk production and calm temperament. The 72-mile journey was flown in a Ford tri-motor aircraft, which was piloted, according to a contemporary newspaper clipping, by a Claude M. Sterling. He was an instructor at St. Louis Parks Air College, the first federally certified flying school in America. Due to the flight time and Ollie's high milk production, she needed to be milked during the flight. She gave a total of 24 quarts, that's around 23 litres of milk during the flight, which was then packed into paper cartons and dropped by parachute to the crowds at the air show. Wisconsin native Ellsworth W. Bunce was the man who milked her, making him the enviable first person to milk a cow in flight. Among the rumoured recipients of the mid-flight milk was aircraft pioneer and St. Louis resident Charles Lindbergh, who had made the first non-stop flight from New York to Paris less than 3 years previously. It's not clear how he felt about being upstaged by a flying cow. Ollie's flight itself was billed as part of a scientific study on the effects of flying on livestock and to demonstrate aircraft stability. In reality, it was more of a publicity stunt, but it made a celebrity out of Ollie, who was given the nickname the Sky Queen.
All right, we have one more slide. It's the joke of the day. Mrs. Coe, what do you call a grumpy cow?
I don't know. What do you call a grumpy cow?
Moody. All right, Lincoln, have an awesome day.